Hello, everybody. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to Open Office Hours for week 3. I'm glad you could go ahead and join. I wanted to check in with you guys. I did get a couple extra questions coming up my way, and I wanted to do my part to add in an extra live stream every single week. So just kind of check in with you guys and answer your questions, but also just kind of like take these live streams in a little bit different perspective, from always going into the open Q&A, which I do every Sunday night at 9 p.m. So if you do have math questions that you would like to have answered, that you're working through, you're trying to get through on this distance learning, then please feel free to join me on my channel on Sunday nights Eastern Standard Time at 9 p.m. And basically there, I just kind of go through and answer your questions and do a bunch of math problems because that's exactly what I am, a math teacher. But that's kind of posed me as the question. I was doing the open Q&A, and a student actually got in my chat, and the one question they said is, "Are you having fun with your open Q&A?" And I was like, that's exactly the type of question that I wanted to actually ask for you guys, because I know on this stream you have parents, teachers, and students, and really kind of getting in that discussion of like, now that we've officially kind of got into week 3 of distance learning. And I know not every school district has really been the same, but really just kind of seeing, how people are now kind of getting into these routines, and really what do they kind of think about this distance learning and how is it really working? I'll kind of start off with, what I have been receiving from there. And obviously I've been online for a while, so I'm used to talking in front of the camera. I'm used to recording myself on videos. My students are used to having videos provided for them, but I will say a lot of the excitement that I used to have for like video has really kind of gone away. Now I go live with my students every single class period. I'm teaching them live. And then I have to go ahead and pre-record my lessons. So then I'm recording those lessons. And, and then like my only interaction that I'm really having with people is obviously my wife and my 2 children. And so, I think it's just like that need of like wanting to just escape and like, have some other sort of social life is probably being the most difficult. I think this might be a little bit easier if there was a little bit more variety rather than like my family, my house, and my computer screen. But as far as the teaching components going, it's, I enjoy still teaching in front of the monitor, I guess, as and the camera. But I definitely feel like a little bit of that lost, like, students will type in questions and then it'll be a little bit later, or they'll ask questions in the email. And then like, you don't really get like that initial, like instant feedback. And I think that's been one of the toughest things that I've had. And I know a lot of people like video so they can like stop, rewind, slow it down. I talk really, really fast. So students are like, I need to slow you down so I can understand what you're talking about. And so I see a lot of those benefits, but I also see like, as far as like the learning interaction, not having that quick back and forth, when a student asks a question, I can dial deep. It loses a little bit of that personal. I mean, I have some kids with some great, great personalities. And so they add a lot to the class, or like when we do attendance, they can be a little fun and off the cheek. And since I know the students, then it gets a little fun for me. But again, like that's it, like that's the rest of the excitement. So that's what I kind of interested to see what you guys, have as far as if you're a teacher or a student or a parent, like, how do you feel about this, distance learning? I think the whole idea of this, the quarantine, a lot of people are staying inside and not really getting out, is hampering a lot of the online learning. But just actually focus on the online learning portion of it. Are you kind of having fun with that? Like that flexibility that you have. I think that's one of the big things is too that I am enjoying. But I do see Aryan. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Saber Seed, give you a shout out for sure. Aiden, did I already do a fraction question for you? I guess I could do that one again for you. But yeah, we'll see if I have some time. I will do some math questions for you guys because I just enjoy doing some math. I did have It's really cool, guys. I'm actually, the one thing I have been allowed to do, and I actually have a couple more points that I wanted to mention, but it's been nice because I've been able to at least spend some time like focusing on my studio, or really my bedroom that I've converted to studio. But I was able to, at least my MacBook Pro that I had was dying. I mean, literally dying. I cannot believe I got through as many live streams. But when you are doing as many videos that you're doing on an old Mac, I couldn't believe that thing was still going long. So I was able to at least upgrade, and now I at least have a different monitors. So my setup is like completely different, and it's just awesome that I can at least see your guys' chat. And then also, I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about this, but I also can now go ahead and get a little bit, I just have more screen real estate. Whereas before I just had my MacBook and like a little exterior monitor, but it's just really nice that I have all this space now that I can check in with you guys on the chat for that. So I see you guys, Justin, I see you, BK. Started with Yelena. Nature is awesome. Thank you so much. Love the mustache and beard. Kaylee, Genesis, pianos too. Aiden, awesome. Yes, Aiden, I see your question. I'll get to you. But very well, guys. So the other point, or the other thing I think that, as far as you're having fun, and the one thing that I would say has been most stressful for me so far is being the grades. So our grades were actually due for today. So I was teaching. I finished up my quarter a little bit early for as far as my students. So technically I was done teaching by the time we went on spring break, and then by the time we have been staying home. So all of my curriculum for third quarter has been kind of done. I've just been trying to get students to finish up taking tests and getting homework into me, and just like doing whatever I could do to be as like fair as possible, but also trying to, make sure that they could just get the stuff into me so I could finalize their grade. And so that has just been kind of a nightmare on my side. Not only am I trying to figure out this stuff online, my schedule is all off, kids, wife, school is now not in session. So it's like my schedule's all been thrown off. I got grades are due. So kids are emailing me. They're trying to upload stuff. Like that's all messed up. I'm trying to figure out my studio. And so I think the stress has really kind of like brought down a lot of what I've been trying to do. And I think that's kind of like hurt as far as me really enjoying this online teaching. I haven't really been able to show up for the students yet because there's been so many other things. I haven't really felt like I've gotten to the rhythm. And I'm not sure if any of you guys are, I know one of the things that I've seen from a lot of people is like, get in a rhythm. And I think it's really, really important to be able to do that. And unfortunately, I just have not been able to do that yet. I still wake up at the same time. So that has been something that I do as far as a early riser. So I get up early, actually, just the same time, even if I was going to school, to try to knock out some stuff. But it's just been difficult dealing with the work that I need to get done, and then other things during the day. Me and my wife will take a walk, during the day just to get out of the house. But we're trying to limit, obviously, the time, getting out of the house and with our kids and everything. So it's been kind of difficult in the regard. And then obviously too, you don't want to just be staring in front of a screen, the whole time. Even if, if it's I'm teaching, or I'm preparing my lectures, or if I'm recording videos, it seems like I'm always in here. And it's a small little room, so it's a little claustrophobic as well. I miss participating in actual class and making combos like that. Yeah, I think, I think it's kind of weird, as far as being like, introverts and extroverts. I definitely think it's definitely tough for the extroverts, but even like introverts, I'm very introverted on a lot of points, but also like that. This is the number one thing that, I also just miss, is just being able to like be around people. So, that's not very introverted, but it's like just that natural connection, the natural conversation that you can have with your students, with your other teachers, and I think that brings a lot to the learning environment. There's so many great things that you guys can take advantage of, and I think teachers are going to take advantage of. And I think that's going to grow out of this, is this online learning, just having students to have access to this education or to this curriculum really at any moment when they need it. And and really just kind of like this education on demand. I think this delivery is going to keep on getting better and better as us teachers and schools, we start evolving with our instruction. But in the same respect, not everybody's like, oh, I love this. Let's just stay at home and like not see each other at all and never go to school, and just learn stuff online. We want to be around people and we want to obviously have those natural conversations. And also, I think as far as teaching goes, I want to be able to connect with people. I mean, we can't use, video software where we're like sharing the screens and everything like that in my school district for, safety reasons, everything like that. So, but that's one of the things that I think is very powerful for students to be able to learn. And, so if we are going to do a distance learning, that I think would be at least something where you need to have that kind of connection with the students, at least in an online environment. And, we're far away from that. So, but it definitely is one of the interesting things to see how things are going to come out from there. Aiden says, what class do you teach? I teach search at ICO. I teach pre-calculus this year. So that's been a blessing in the fact of preparing for my lessons because I only really have one prep to prepare for. So that has been really, really nice. I am sorry for those of you teachers that have 2, 3, 4 preps. I know it's just a nightmare because I've been there and I've had all those classes and it's just, you do what you can do to just get the kids material, but it's definitely very difficult. Yeah. That's, I know I've heard all the things like classrooms being rated and stuff like that. It's, yeah. See, now I just have my wife just be able to moderate my chat. So therefore, if you are spammy or getting blocked messages, then she'll just block you. So I don't have to worry about it. So that is my security measure. Or like some of you just automatically swear and then your chat doesn't get shown anyways. So funny stuff. BK, I don't see any of your questions though. I know you said you asked one. All right. Well, anyway, so let's go and talk about a couple things. I will answer in some questions, but yeah, the main thing I wanted to see is like how you guys are feeling, if how you guys are liking this. So because many of the people that have joined at least on this stream, you're familiar with me, you're familiar with my videos. You've probably been looking for some math help or just been curious on math on there, and you so yeah, you're kind of familiar with like learning online. But now you don't have a teacher that's in there inside the classroom. And sometimes obviously if you're learning online, your teacher might not be able to help you in person, but many people, you just need like help with a question, like your class is going fine. You may be struggling a little bit, but you're just, searching for some help. I know obviously some people are like lifesavers. They need like everything help. Nothing's helping them in person. But now everybody's in this online environment. So that's really what I kind of want to see. And I'm reading all of your guys' comments, how you guys are liking this online learning. Even if you've taken online courses before, you always still kind of had that in-person development. So, are you guys having fun with it? And I would say at my point, I'm having fun with it, but I think the things that are bringing me down is one, grades have been due. So I've been dealing with students turning stuff in, retaking stuff, all this stuff that I've just been trying to like be as, as fair and inclusive as I possibly could for students that needed to get things in. And then also the fact of not being able to just like leave my house because we're at a stay-at-home order in Florida. So, yeah, I can definitely say that. 8 out of 4 would 10 them. Well, yeah. All right. So a couple things that I wanted to cover with you guys. Excuse me. I was going to go ahead and grab some questions. And because as I mentioned, I've just been like so busy with my own classes, with grades and doing everything else. I was like, God, I haven't even been on my Discord in like forever. And actually over a week since actually that last live stream, I don't even think I've been able to log on. It's just been way too many stuff. Every single time, like I'm done, like for the day, I just want to go ahead and go to sleep and not even like browse on the internet and check things. So I've been on my Discord, and then I log back in today to say like, oh, maybe some people have like sent me some questions, because I've been really trying to push the Discord element for people like answering questions. And I've been absolutely amazed by how many of you have been helping each other out. I thank you so much for one, for those of you that are bringing your questions, and then two, for those of you that are helping each other, because it really does hurt me, like pains me, that I cannot help so many of you guys that have questions. You guys are posting questions in the chat. I'm like, I wish I can help you. Or like some questions like, I need a little bit more time, and I'd like love to work on that problem with you. I just don't have the time to be able to do it. And obviously questions that come in the chat, are just a sliver of what I receive on Facebook or what I receive in Instagram, or on Twitter and the Discord. And I'm like, I can't handle all of this, problem. So I tried to like organize things. Like I do my live streams on Sundays, to answer as many questions as I can, but it's going to be 5 to 10 questions. And like, I can just pick and choose what I need. So I was like, well, let's do Discord, and then I can like organize the questions, and it's a little bit easier for people to like post pictures there. And at least I can have a centralized element. I mean, people are still going to send me stuff no matter what, but at least I can reply with them by putting in Discord. And it's been amazing, because I was freaking out. I was like, wow, I haven't been on Discord in like a week. And I think almost every single question people have been at least replied to, or got their answers solved. So thank you so much, guys, for those of you that are helping each other out. It's amazing. It's not there to, for people to like take your tests or, do your homework or whatever else for you. I want that server to be available for those of you guys that have questions. You're like, I'm stuck on this problem. I don't know how to start this problem. Help me out. And that's exactly what I'm seeing. People are having great conversations, learning from one another. And, I'm in there. I answered a couple questions and helped some people out as best I can. So thank you. If you haven't joined, I believe I have the description in there on there. I'm not sure if I can check this. I believe the link is in the description of the stream. If not, let me know and I can go ahead and grab it from you guys. But again, I really, really do appreciate that, guys. And that has been awesome so much. All right. Yes, Victorious Warrior, I got some of your questions. I will be addressing them. And then also I'll get to Aiden. And I think there was another one. Oh, yeah. Somebody else asked in the Discord as far as a half angle identity. I think that's what they're asking. But it's very nice. I have like now extra screen real estate. So I'm like, oh, I can go ahead and check check this problem. Maybe it was in the open Q&A, I believe. Why, hello. Oh. That was right in the time. Where did the student get to that? They just asked it. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So let's go and do the tangent. 112.5 degrees. And they're asking to do that for the half angle identity, which I do not remember, even though I taught it like maybe a couple months ago, but I believe it might be tangent over 1 minus tangent squared. I can't remember. Let's just pull that up real quick. But now I can at least use another computer and not have to get to the other one. 2 tangent over 1 plus tangent squared. Dang it. Oh, no. That was the... What was I looking at? Where's that for the double angle? I was looking for... All right, for the one that I'm going to use, tangent, usually the one I tell my students is u over 2. There's a couple of them. I'm not going to go through how to get these different variations. Over u over sine of u. Okay, that's the one I prefer to use. 1 minus cosine over sine of u. Yep, there we go. All right. And so I'll go ahead and address that one. So yeah, well, anyways, I think I was going to tell you the reason why I have that 134 there is I have 134 people in the Discord. I'm like more excited about that than Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, like anything else. I just think that's amazing of having that many people like access, even on the Discord to like answer questions to help each other out. it just gets me really, really, happy. And I know like, a lot of the, even like subscribers, like not just because you subscribe to my channel, people don't watch my, videos. I appreciate all of the support. And that brings me up to another question, another point. Members. So I'll talk about that for a second. And then, but yeah, like, like obviously people are like, oh, you got so many subscribers. Like you go, I'm like, yeah, it's like, it's great. Like it's a, I'm not really very big into like vanity metrics. It's obviously awesome that many people have subscribed to me, like that will literally click a button and say like, I like this person, or this person has helped me, or I want to support this person, and subscribe. So I really, 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 really appreciate that. But it's not something that I, really, stress over, because again, like when I post a video, it's not like I'm seeing 400,000 views and everybody's watching my videos, properly there. So it's just one of those that I'm like, I know they'll casually, watch my videos or use me, as they need help, in math class. And I appreciate, everybody that is definitely, subscribing and obviously just even watching my videos, if they're subscriber or not. And obviously the bell notification lets you know when I'm live, but typically, I will be getting into the lives obviously on Wednesday and Friday if you forget, which a lot of times this could be crazy. I was going to get to another question. So the other thing I was going to mention about, let me get all the way up. Let me see those. Victorious Warrior, I'm assuming you wanted me to solve. I'm not going to solve the whole thing, but I'll at least like get you started. I'm assuming that's what you wanted to do. And maybe I'll solve. I don't know. We'll see how far I get. But you gave me 3 questions. I'm not going to solve for X on another problem because I don't have a calculator, but I'll at least get you started on that. So the one thing I want to mention with my members is if you guys go to my channel, obviously you can subscribe. If you want a little bit more information, you could subscribe and hit the bell. And basically what that does is that gives you like a notification, so you can get notifications when I post videos, as well as when I go live. And then the other thing is if you want to support, you can support me as a member. Now, as far as a member, like I don't promote my membership very much on my channel. I mention it once in a while casually just to let you guys know, that is some things that I offer, but it's not like a big push for me. I really, really do appreciate a lot of people that have joined in the membership, and I try to add the value every month, as far as at least adding some different content. But really, it's always been difficult too, because I've tried a couple things that, really trying to see like what is the right fit, what can I really do that's going to give you guys the most amount of value. Because I kind of have like 3 tiers. I have like just the general support. I have the one where it's basically just kind of getting some of my resources. And then the other one is like really joining my class, like here is everything that I'm doing, kind of thing. So I've noticed a lot of uptick, obviously, in the distance learning of people like joining the membership. And so I want to make sure that, I've been trying to like play around some things and get some content, out there for people to enjoy and take advantage of, help me with the classes. One thing I'm doing is I'm going live now in my classes every single day. And, so one of the things I was going to start doing is, for my join the class, I always provide them like with my lectures and my notes and stuff. Obviously that's, the high tier, but one thing I was looking into doing was also just sharing like my lectures. So for those of you that are just kind of interested to see how I go through my classroom, obviously I'm not sharing the screens or doing anything like Zoom, with this. So it's just another live stream, kind of like we're doing now. But it is something where I kind of review my notes, that my students are currently doing. And so we're currently doing conic sections. So if you just want to kind of like get a little inside look as far as what I'm doing inside of the classroom, then that might be something that might be something you would be interested in. And again, you can always check it out. And if you don't like it or you don't see a value in it, then you don't need to stay or anything else. I always do appreciate your support from there, guys. But I just want to let some of you guys know, some of those things that I'm trying to do to kind of keep on giving people value for supporting me, because I really, really, really do appreciate you guys offering your support as subscriptions, as members, and super chats, and everything else that you guys do. So, all right. I think, guys, I have enough problems. I'm just going to cover this, and that. Actually, maybe we can do one more, because I don't really need to do members. All right, you're 42 and you're, oh, that's somebody else. Everybody can be in community college. There's something wrong with that. All right. Yeah, shredded my way back to a career. Do I recommend any preps for SAT? No, I do not. So unfortunately, I don't have any recommendations for the SAT or ACT or anything like that. I think probably some of the main, the main preps I would definitely say are probably going to be pretty good. They've gone through a lot of that, a lot of the material for that. But also I wouldn't be, shy of looking into, I know there's a lot of, YouTubers that I watch as well, and kind of see they do a lot of focus on the SAT, ACT. And obviously if you want to get into the paid version, I think there's definitely some good content, I'd imagine, as well. It's just not an area that I really focus on. So I wouldn't really be able to tell you what is great, what is not. How would you solve? I'm assuming you're looking for evaluate for it back on then. And yeah, I'd have to, if you had that from E to the 7th, I'd have to look at that one. Because as far as a little bit more, as far as my logarithms, it's not something I've taught in a while. We don't teach it in my pre-calculus. So I'd have to look a little bit more at your problem. And I'm assuming you're asking to evaluate from on there. First. To be honest, I'm not learning anything from your online classes. I have triple the work and I've been watching videos for help, which kind of defeats the purpose. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I've heard, not from my students, and not because I'm great by any means. I'll tell you why my students have not been saying that. But I've heard from other parents that have students in other classes and stuff. It's like their students are just receiving a ton of work. Like, all right, here's your work. Like, do this, do that. And there's really not a lot of instruction or explanation to be able to do the work. They're actually getting more and more work. It's like you have more time off, so there's more you should be able to do, which, yeah, is not fair. It's not right, because, I've noticed already, like, I don't teach, the whole time with my students, but I'm available for them, for the rest of that class. But I also don't mean that I'm going to give them work that they have to do for that whole class period. When I assign my work, the only thing nice about that is it's supposed to be flexible for them. It's not going to be something that I'm assigning more work. So the reason why my students haven't said that, or at least haven't said that to me, to my face, is because I haven't changed anything. I've actually lessened my load of work that I'm giving my students. Every lesson has a homework assignment. Every chapter has a pre-lesson, something they need to prepare for before they get started. Every lesson has like a skills practice worksheet. You guys might have seen my videos where I do like 20, 30, 50 problems of just the same problem. So usually those are skills practice that like I designate is where students really need to be efficient at or proficient at. And a lot of students struggle at it. So I'll usually pick like a skill and just have them really work on like factoring, completing the square, fractions. Those are things that have showed up. And then they, the one thing with the homework is I give homework a free response, multiple choice, and like spiral review. Well, I dropped all of that except for the free response. I said, all right, just work on the free response, because one, I don't want you guys to be uploading all this work into me, or I don't want to be grading all this work. So just focus on, the basics of just focus on the basics, because there's so many other things that are going on outside of your little video and computer screen I don't know what's going on with everybody's, life or situation or at home situation. Like, I mean, thankfully I got two little kids that I basically can still kind of tell them what to do. But it's like everybody has their own family dynamic that is not used to being in the same house or same room for that long, and so it is definitely a big learning curve and an adjustment for everybody. So I think just adding on more work or, not trying to take that into consideration is one of those big mistakes that I think not a lot of teachers, hopefully at least not a lot of teachers. But I do know some teachers are just like, oh, well, you're home, you have nothing else to do. Why don't you just do all this work? Or it's like, oh, well, I have access to it, and that's the thing too. Like online, a lot of teachers, oh, well, I bought this, worksheets, or I found these worksheets, or I, whatever. Why don't you guys do this and this and this, and like over prepare the students, just giving them tons of work to do. And it's like, yeah, that defeats the purpose. That makes people like hate doing math and hate learning, because they're not really learning. They're just doing work. So I've tried to keep my lessons exactly the same. And that's what I did. And that's those things I was talking about in the members video. I said to students, all right, guys, today was our first lesson that we had. And I basically just said, all right, when we go through like if I was going to be teaching this, like here's how I'd be teaching it. I want you guys to know this. Here's the example I would have done on the board, and I had my students pre-submit. I already had that uploaded to them. So for them to already review and submit questions into me before we actually got started with the lesson. But many students didn't ask questions. So I'm not sure if that worked or not. Maybe I just did amazing notes and they all paid attention and understood it. Or I might be getting some questions later on that are like, I don't know how to do that. And you need to re-explain. But either way, I just kind of worked through my notes and then I worked through the homework and let them kind of go on for that. All right, I got something else. I'm just going to work on that one. I liked it. Sorry guys, I always like to sometimes ramble, but I'm going to change this one to a g of x. It's just a function one. I apologize, guys. And again, if I didn't get your question, I don't mean to not get everybody's question. And I know you all need help, and it's definitely can be frustrating that when you guys are, given work, especially from a teacher in an online format, and you don't have that help. That's why I created this other stream for you guys, that I wanted to kind of be there for you, check in with you, give you guys just another access or opportunity to chat with some other people. Kessa, again, I already mentioned I would just need more time to go ahead and work on your problem. It's just not something that's clicking exactly the first approach. And I haven't evaluated logarithms, while it is with that 7. So it's just something I'd need to think about. So I'm not going to be able to cover it for the live stream. So I'll save you the time of retyping it. I appreciate it. John Trendy, you have a great question. I can't fathom anything but 5. Huh? I don't understand. Oh, well. Anyways, guys, I have so many questions that are coming through. I can't answer them all. If you guys go to the Discord, I will try to do my best to get to some of those questions. But the best thing about going into the Discord is, one, you guys can have it organized. So therefore you can organize those videos based on your type of questions. And then also, in addition to that, there's amazing people. There's already 134 people on there that are helping each other out, that are answering the questions. So far, obviously, guys, I don't ever want to say like, hey, your question will be answered in 24 hours. But a lot of people are active on the community, and all the way from, algebra 1 and calculus, which is at least what I teach. And I haven't opened up any other chats for like upper level mathematics or lower end mathematics. But obviously, if that's something that becomes a need, I'll be more than happy to do that. I know there's definitely some advanced questions that people have. And I know there's also some people that have some very advanced mathematics way above my knowledge that can help each other out. So either way, guys, I just wanted to propose that to you because I'm not going to get to your questions, guys. And I always hate saying I don't have time to do everybody's questions, or your question is just not initially, coming to me, or you need to be more specific and stuff like that. Obviously, guys, if you've watched my live streams or you've been on more than one live stream, you notice that I've solved a lot of these questions or covered a lot of this stuff, or my channel has a lot of those problems. So either way, let's go ahead and get into some math and wrap this up. So first problem is we have tangent of 112.5 degrees. We're going to use the half angle formula. That wasn't supposed to happen. So to do that, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we need to understand is u over 2 is equal to 112.5 degrees. So the half angle is equal to 112.5 degrees. So therefore, u is equal to 225 degrees. All right. So now that is going to be what our u is. So if you look at the tangent of the half angle, u over 2, which is 112.5, that's going to be equal to 1 minus the cosine of 225 degrees all over the sine of 225 degrees. So it's just understanding that u divided by 2 and u. So again, you obviously need to know the half angle formulas. I didn't remember them, and it's only been a couple months for me. But again, like my students, I provide them with the half angle formulas. It's not something they need to memorize in my course. And then, yeah, I initially forgot them as too. So I just wanted to check them out. But now we just need to evaluate for the cosine of 225 degrees as well as for the sine of 225 degrees. Now it's helpful to know where that angle is. 225 degrees is going to be over here with a reference angle of 45 degrees. So that is going to be both negative square root of 2 over 2, comma negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, so I'll have 1 minus negative square root of 2 over 2 divided by 1 minus negative square root of 2 over 2. Notice, guys, how I'm using the parentheses just to make sure that I'm keeping everything pure. So now I can say, all right, I evaluated for negative. I'm sorry, what am I doing? I like rewrote that. Crazy me. All right, so therefore, I have a negative here, and this is minus a negative, so that'd be positive. This is technically the answer. It's evaluated. A lot of times we'll simplify this by maybe throwing in a, I don't know, multiplying everything by -2. So if we did that, let's see what that gives us. So this is going to be positive anyways, so that'd be a -2. That'd be a negative square root of 2. All over, that'd be a positive square root of 2. And then now you could rationalize the denominator. I guess you could have multiplied by the square root of 2, but, or negative square root of 2. But that would have been a little bit more math for people sometimes to do in their head. So you could distribute this here. So it'd be a -2 square root of 2. Negative square root of 2 times square root of 2 would be just a -2 all over 2. I'm not sure if I'm doing this the most efficient way. Probably not. The 2 can divide into both those terms. Negative square root of 2 minus 1. So therefore that 2 divides into both of those. And that would be your final answer. So hopefully that at least helps you as far as the process, even though I'm not sure if I did that the best, easiest way. Well, hey, Addie, I was kind of wondering where you are showing up for the live stream. I appreciate you joining in. Victorious, Alexander, Zoned Out, Chris, Brian, Hazem, James, thank you so very much, guys, for joining in on the live stream. I really do appreciate it. And again, just a reminder, guys, I will be taking your questions on this Sunday for my open live Q&A. You can always submit your questions on my community post on YouTube as well on my Discord server free math videos. All right, so for the next example is g of 8. So to do a problem like that, the first thing we're going to want to do is do g of x. So what I'm going to do is do g of x. So basically what that means is I'm going to plug g of x. So let's look at it this way. That's really just saying you're going to plug the g of x function into the g of x function. You're plugging a function into itself. So you're going to take g of x and plug that into 13. Is that the question? 13? Yeah. So you're going to take g of x and plug that in for x into the g of x function. Kind of sounds weird how I just said that. So what would that look like now as I'm going down? So that'd be 3 times 3x minus 13 minus 13. And now I'm just going to do a little distributive property here. So that becomes a 9x. That'd be, let's see, a 26. That becomes a negative 39 minus 13. And then I have a 9x minus, let's see, that's going to be a 52. Okay, so that is what, so g of, oops, let's write it this way. So g of x is equal to a 9x minus 52. So if I want to find g of 8, all I'm going to do is just replace the x with 8. So it's going to be 9 times 8 minus 52. Well, 9 times 8 is 72, minus 52 is going to be 20. So there you go. Gotcha, kittens. I see you too. There you go. I'm trying to do my shout out. All right, next one is, I believe, solve for y. I don't think there was just an equation here, so I'm assuming that's what we wanted to do. And really, I just want to kind of work on a couple properties. The first property is the quotient property of logarithms. When you have two logarithms separated by subtraction, we can write that as log. Again, this would be base 10. We don't need to write the 10, but we know it's there. 2y plus 3 all over 3y minus 1 equals 1. Okay, so now we have the logarithm of a rational expression. We could go ahead and use the rules of logarithms to raise both expressions with a base 10, or we could just convert this logarithmic form into exponential form. Either way, you're going to get an equation that's going to look like this. 10 to the first power equals 2y plus 3 all over 3y minus 1. So 10 to the first power, guys, is just obviously 10. But now we need to solve for y. So to do that, we need to get the y off the denominator, right? When you're solving an equation, you can't solve for the variable when you have more than one variable or when that variable is in the denominator. So the first step I'm going to do is multiply, a 3 minus 1 on both sides. I'll distribute here. So this would be a 30y minus 10 equals, that divides out, a 2y plus 3. Now you can see we have we have problems on both sides. So I'll do a 28y minus 10 equals 3. Add the 3. Oops, not add the 3. Add the 10. And then we have a 28y equals 13. Divide by 28. Divide by 28. Y equals 13 over 28. So assuming I didn't make any mistakes, medieval, thank you. Excuse me, sir, your head. What's wrong with my head? Is it kind of getting shiny? Yeah, so since my new computer, I'm having a little issue with my lighting. Well, since I've been moving everything around, so my green screen has not been working as well. So I've had to adjust my contrast and everything. So that's why I might look a little bit different on this. And yes, Alexander Lee, what's up? All right, so let's go and get into the next one. Question number 4. Solve the logarithm and victorious. I'm knocking out 2 questions for you. Lucky. I was usually, but thank you for showing up early on the chat and getting those questions over to me because I was worried if I was going to be doing some math or not. But first one, 7e to the 3x equals 320. So we'll divide by 7 on both sides. So e to 3x equals, I have no idea what 320 divided by 7 is, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Then basically, guys, if we need to solve for x, we need to get the x off the denominator, right? We can't solve for y when it's in the denominator. We can't solve for y when we have more than one of them, right? We need to combine them or eliminate. We need to get down to 1. We also can't solve for a variable when it's in a power as the exponent. So to get the x off the exponent, we're going to use the one-to-one property of logarithms. Now in this case, we're going to use the natural logarithm. And so I'm going to take the natural log of both sides because the natural log has a base of e. So when I take the natural log of both sides, I end up getting an equation 3x is equal to ln of whatever 320 divided by 7 is. And then now to solve for x, I would use my calculator and just plug in 1/3 ln of 320 divided by 7. All right, last question is question number 5, which is dealing with multiple fractions. So Aiden, I believe, who submitted this question, submitted the same question or similar question last, another live stream. And again, like the main thing is find the LCD, find the LCD, find the LCD, because these problems are not fun for anybody to do when you're dealing with fractions. So I remember, I'm not sure if any of you guys have ever taught from the CPM booklets, but I remember when I first started teaching, they had something, I remember there was a lesson, it was called like Fraction Buster. It's like, get rid of the fractions. Fractions are difficult to think about. They're difficult to like understand. You're going to make more mistakes with fractions. So just get rid of the fractions. Well, the only way to get rid of a fraction, like each of these fractions, you got to think, all right, so maybe let's try to think about it this way. In this fraction, 2 is in the denominator. That means the 1 is being divided by 2. Here, the 3 is being divided by 4. 4 is being divided by 5. 6 is being divided by 7. So in this problem, we have 4 numbers that are being divided by 2, 4, 5, and 7. So if I want to undo division, then basically I want to like reverse that. I need to multiply by 2, 4, 5, and 7. But that's not always going to be the best case. We want to be able to see what is going to be the common factor that they are all going to share. That they all divide into. Now, the one problem that it seems going to be tricky, and actually this might be, I don't know. So let's see, 7, 14. I'm just going to list the multiples of 7. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 64. That's not right. What did I do? 35, 49, 54. Oops. Man, this is going to be like some big number. 54. What am I doing? No, that's 56. I'm losing my main brain. All right. So now I'm going to say, well, and see, the thing is, each one of these numbers that I'm picking, because obviously there's 4 denominators here, right? So you can see like this is getting pretty big, like number, like, and I'm trying to think of these numbers in my head. Well, obviously 14 is divided by 2, but it's not divisible by 4 and 5, right? 35 is divisible by, or 4 is divisible by 7 and 4, but it's not divisible by 5. 35 is divisible by 5, but it's not divisible by 4 and 2, right? So I just keep on going up the ladder. But again, to like save myself to like constantly keep on doing all this, I can keep on, like, if I go into 56, and then obviously I'd get into 63, and then you can go ahead and get to 70. But again, 70 is not going to be divisible by 4. So one thing we can always just check would be, well, what is 7 times 2 times 5 times 7? Wait, is that a double? Oh, 7 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 2. I don't know. Did you guys figure it out? I don't have anything. Just add 0.5 and 0.8, you bot. Yeah, you could definitely go ahead and do that. I mean, you can convert to decimals, and that's definitely not a problem. Well, you wouldn't really, the 6/7, I don't know what that is, the decimal form is from there. Just multiply it and we're done. What are you multiplying it by? LCD is 140. Oh, jeez. Well, thank you. So I don't have a calculator, so I guess I could actually just do the mental math. So we have 2. Well, and again, the reason why I was just not multiplying it, Abdul, is because, one, as a teacher, I see that students will just get into that trap as they always just multiply. They're like, oh, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to multiply. And then 2, the problem with that is, 1, they have no understanding of why we multiply by the LCD. They just do it. They're like, oh, just multiply them. Done. And then 2, when it's actually like for more complicated rational expressions and stuff like that, you don't want to multiply them. You want to find that smallest LCD. And so you want to make sure you can find those common factors. So I was being a little bit of a teacher and getting into these points, but then realizing like, yeah, there's really not going to be anything in there that's going to make this really simple. 2 times 4 times 5 times 7. So if we do just go ahead and multiply them out, let's see, that'd be 8, 40, and 8, 40, 10, 40, that'd be 280. But 280 is not going to be easy because you could divide 280 by 2, and that would give you actually 140. So actually, sorry, you don't need to multiply the 2. The thing is, if it's divisible by 4, it's going to be divisible by 2. So therefore, all you really need to do is multiply the 4 times 5 times 7. There you go. As long as you multiply those 3 numbers, you don't really need to multiply the 2, because if it's divisible by 4, it's divisible by 2. And those numbers will give you 140, which will be your LCD. All right, spend way too much time on that, understanding the LCD. But if you multiply everything by your LCD, here you get a 70x. That'd be a 35, so it'd be a negative 3 times 35 equals a 4/5. Oops, sorry. 5 is going to, oh God, you guys make me do the mental, I don't think so. The 5, let's, my brain, 7 would obviously be, okay, so let's just go back to old school because my brain hurts. 5 is going to go to there 2 times, 10, 4, 0, 5, and there's 8, so that's 28 times. So that's going to be 4 times a 28x, and then 7 is going to go in there 20 times, so that'd be a 6 times 20. I should have looked at this problem, and you're making me do all this math numbers in my brain. That would be, go ahead and 20. So yeah, I mean, from there, it's just going to turn into a 2-step equation. All right, I just feel bad because I took on this question, which I probably shouldn't have. So therefore, just because it takes so much more time and I don't have a calculator, which typically if I was going to give this problem, like, I mean, obviously I can see like when you're first learning these 2-step equations, it's important to kind of practice like with those numbers and stuff. And that's supposed to be a plus, not an addition, but I wasn't planning on spending this much time on this problem. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit quicker to cover, but either way, that's fine. 56, so that'd be 112. And again, I didn't check to see if I made any questions, just multiply it and we're done. Yeah. No, Khan Academy is not a rival. They have a lot more money than I do. And they pump out a lot more. I do have more videos, more uploads though than Khan Academy, and they do have a team from on there. But no, they're not a rival. They produce a lot of great educational content, and obviously outside of math as well. But no, it's back in the day. Actually, yeah, back in the day, I remember when they first, started up. I think they definitely started before I started, but there wasn't as many obviously as people doing YouTube as there are now. And then I do not know, as far as assuming I'm doing all of my work correctly. Yeah, it is hurting my brain, especially I've been live here now for what, 55 minutes already talking and doing some math work. I'm like going back to algebra 1, I'm hurting my brain. So that's not going to be divisible by 2. It's not going to be divisible by 42. So therefore, I am just going to leave that fraction as that. I'm assuming I have not seen anybody else say that I made a mistake. So I'm hoping it's good, but I do see some people that did join in a little bit later. And they're asking their questions, and I apologize, guys. I am not going to be able to get to your questions tonight, but I do have a Discord server if you guys would like to ask your questions there. There has been some amazing conversations that have already been happening on there, people helping each other out, answering their questions, showing their work. And I'm hopefully, now that grades are doing my class, I'll be able to show up a little bit more and help you guys out. But again, guys, I'm not trying to promise the world that, hey, I'll do your math homework, or obviously I'm not going to, or hey, I'll answer every question. I mean, I can't get to everybody's questions, even on these live streams. It's no way I'm going to be able to get to it in Discord, but I want to give you guys that opportunity because I know it's tough. I know it's tough, especially for many of you guys that already struggled, with math or with your certain class, when you had a teacher and you had friends in your class, but now you're in this environment where you're just in front of a computer screen and you're just given work and, trying to figure things out. So that's why I wanted to do this extra live stream for you guys, just to kind of give you a little bit more of access to answering your questions. And helping you guys out. I do an open Q&A every Sunday night where you guys can submit the questions. I make a community post on Saturday. You guys can respond to that. And I try to do as many questions as I possibly can. So thank you. Yeah, I know I could use a Google calculator. I know, but I was trying to show you guys at least doing a little bit of some mental math, for on there. But yeah, obviously when I have something I don't even want to do a calculator, I'm just like, I'll leave it from there. You guys can work on the calculator. But yeah, so I wanted to give you guys this outlet to ask your questions, let you guys know how everything's going on my side, and I will be live again next week. I'll also be posting my lectures, not really lectures, but I'll be posting my mini lessons that I'm covering for my classes in my members area. If any of you guys are kind of interested in what I'm doing there, not full instructional videos, but they do just kind of review on what my notes are and what I'm kind of covering for my classes. So if you are interested in that, or you at least want to support on the membership side, you guys can do that. But otherwise, guys, I just appreciate you joining me on a live stream, saying hi, as well as checking my videos. So thank you so much, guys. See you later. Yeah, my boy, Kapana. Abdullah, mental math with 10 minutes. Yeah, exactly. James, Levo, Becky, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. I appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Cheers.